Next, we welcome Mitch DiRaimondo from SteelWave Digital. His session, Tokenizing American Commercial Real Estate for International Institutional Investors, will explore opportunities for global investors in U.S. real estate tokenization.
Morning. Um, it's an honor to join you today at the STO Summit 2024, a forum that has become an essential gathering for leaders shaping the future of finance. As we approach the close of yet another transformative year, this event offers us a chance to reflect on the progress made, the challenges encountered, and the opportunities that lie ahead. 2024 has been a pivotal year for tokenization and digital securities. While some may focus on the hurdles, regulatory uncertainty, underwhelming adoption rates, or underperforming projects, those of us in this room understand that we're laying the foundation for something far greater. This is the inflection point where ideas solidify into strategies, and strategies evolve into systems that can redefine the global financial landscape. SteelWave has been privileged to be a part of this event and this evolution, and today I'm excited to share how we position ourselves and hopefully inspiring you to capitalize on the incredible opportunities emerging in this space. SteelWave is a commercial real estate investor and developer. Our core business is to create live, work, and play environments for the innovative workforce. Our core markets are the major tech hubs in the Western US. We have been doing so for almost 5 decades, obviously not me personally. So what does it have to do with the world of digital securities or the token economy? The traditional ownership structures of institutional commercial real estate are, quite frankly, outdated. They were designed in an era where paper agreements, manual processes, and limited access to markets were the norm. These structures are not only cumbersome, but also prohibitively expensive to create and inefficient to trade. Today, owning or transferring interest in these assets often involves significant friction, whether it's navigating legal framework, high transaction costs, or a lack of liquidity. The world of digital securities offers a pathway to fundamentally reimagine this system. By owning, by tokenizing ownership interests in institutional real estate, we can eliminate many of these impediments. Imagine being able to fractionalize a large commercial real estate asset into tokenized shares that can be securely traded on blockchain-based platforms, much like equities on a stock exchange. These tokens could represent fractional ownership, allowing investors to buy or sell their stake with ease. But the value proposition doesn't stop at easier transactions. The token economy enables the creation of entirely new financial products tailored to different investor profiles. For example, you could have customizable risk tiers. Token can represent slices of capital stack from senior debt to equity, allowing investors to select risk profiles that align with their strategies. You could have broader accessibility. Historically, institutional grade real estate investments have been accessible only to a small group of ultra wealthy investors or large institutions. Tokenization opens the door to much broader audience, democratizing access to these assets. You could have enhanced liquidity. With tokenized real estate, investors are no longer locked into large holding periods. They gain the flexibility to trade their interests on secondary markets, creating liquidity in what has traditionally been an illiquid asset class. The impact of this transformation is very important. We're no longer limited by the inefficiencies of legacy systems. Instead, we can leverage the speed, transparency, and security of blockchain technology to create a real estate market that is more inclusive, dynamic, and efficient. In essence, digital securities don't just improve the way we structure ownership, they redefine who can participate and how. This isn't just about modernizing real estate, it's about unlocking its full potential as a cornerstone of the token economy. By breaking down barriers to entry and introducing flexibility and liquidity, we're not just following the evolution of finance, we're leading it. So, what does tokenization in 2024 look like? Tokenization has often been described as the future of finance. The idea of slicing real world assets, be it real estate, debt, or equity, into digital tokens that can be traded seamlessly across global markets is undeniably compelling. However, as we have all seen, turning vision into reality is rarely straightforward. Despite the immense promise of tokenization, the industry has faced its fair share of skepticism, particularly from institutional investors, who are the very group of whose participation is essential in the ecosystem to thrive. Why? because early adopters of this space often fail to deliver the robust, transparent, and intuitive products that institutional investors expect. At SteelWave, we've identified four critical barriers to adoption that must be addressed to unlock the full potential of digital securities. One, regulatory uncertainty. Two, underwhelming product offerings. Three, transparency deficits. And four, accessibility challenges. These challenges are not insurmountable. In fact, they are opportunities for innovation, but they require us to rethink how we build, market, and regulate digital securities. They demand a long-term perspective and a willingness to invest in the infrastructure, trust, and education needed to make this ecosystem accessible to all. New developments in the US could radically alter the trajectory of this revolutionary financial ecosystem. The recent presidential election results, the stepping aside of the head of the SEC, and the dramatic rise of the crypto ecosystem market cap are not uncorrelated events. They are pivotal driving. They're all points to drive to a better future in the space. What is SteelWave's vision? Well, we see this as a new capital stack for the tokenized world. One of the most exciting opportunities in tokenization is the ability to fundamentally reimagine the capital stack. To understand potential, it's worth looking back at the transformative days of the CMBS, which is the commercial mortgage-backed securities. CMBS reshaped the real estate investment landscape by slicing debt into tranches with varying risk profiles and tailoring them to different types of investors. This model not only broadened access to institutional real estate investments, but also introduced new levels of efficiency and liquidity to the market. We believe a similar, perhaps even more profound transformation is now possible in the tokenization space. The power of blockchain technology enables us to go beyond traditional debt structures and reimagine ownership itself in ways that are more flexible, customizable, and scalable. Imagine slicing up a capital stack in any number of tokenized tranches, each uniquely structured to meet the needs of a diverse investor base. Some tranches might represent junior positions, offering higher yields but more risk. Others might be senior, providing stability and proprietary into cash flows. Some tokens could be tied to disproportionate shares of the asset appreciation, while others might focus on cash flow distribution. Governance rights could be included or excluded depending on the investor's preference. These tokens could be created in varying sizes to attract all types of investors, from high net worth individuals seeking niche exposure to institutional players requiring scale. Now let's take a concept step back. Imagine a large pool of core real estate assets already held by institutions being reimagined as tokenized indexes. Each index could focus on a specific sector or geographical theme, catering to investors' interests in a way that previously was impossible. For instance, an industrial index could focus on buildings located near the world's largest ports, capitalizing on the growing demand for logistics and supply chain infrastructure. An office index could feature properties in the top financial centers or tech hubs, targeting investors drawn to innovation and economic resilience. A hospitality index could include iconic resorts or high-performing hotels, tapping into the allure of unique, high-yield real estate assets. The possibilities are truly limitless. Tokenization enables us to create granular, thematic investment vehicles that resonate with a broader audience of investors while maintaining the underlying stability of institutional real estate. The beauty of this approach is that it doesn't require building new real estate assets. It's about reimagining the ownership wrapper. These assets already exist, but they're often locked in inefficient, illiquid structures that limit their potential. Tokenization is the key to unlocking that potential, making real estate investment more dynamic, accessible, and attractive. What's more, this framework aligns perfectly with the emerging trends in the investor preferences. Today's investors want more than just returns. They want customization, flexibility, and the ability to align their portfolios with their personal or institutional mandates. Tokenized real estate delivers on all those fronts, offering a level of precision and adaptability that traditional structures simply cannot match. As we reimagine the capital stack, we're not just creating new products, we're democratizing an asset class that has long been out of reach for many. This is the future of real estate investing, and the tokenization is the vehicle that will take us there. It's the future where ownership isn't constrained by legacy systems, but instead thrives on innovation, transparency, and inclusivity. Likewise, a tokenized ownership structure can be used as a means of permanent capital for groups like SteelWave. We develop iconic assets and spend an enormous amount of time, effort, and sweat equity in doing so. In most instances, given the capital structures that we currently use, we're forced to liquidate these assets once the value has been created to harvest profits and recycle capital for our institutional investors. A tokenized ownership wrapper would allow us to hold these assets and the fee streams associated with these assets into perpetuity. The token holders could trade in and out the assets based upon their own investment objectives. Another area where digital finance holds immense potential is in unlocking dormant capital, particularly among holders of digital assets like Bitcoin. Today, there are billions of dollars in Bitcoin sitting idle, held by investors who are reluctant to liquidate due to tax implications or their long-term bullish outlook. At SteelWave, we developed a strategy to mobilize this dormant capital. Through our Fort Knox initiative, we allow Bitcoin holders to leverage their assets into institutional-grade real estate investments. Here's how it works. One, Bitcoin-backed borrowing. So investors contribute Bitcoin to the fund, which is then used as collateral to secure USD loans at a loan-to-value ratio of roughly 30 to 50%. Two, we deploy the asset deployment. The borrowed capital is deployed into income-producing real estate assets, providing investors with steady returns that are significantly in excess of the borrowing costs. The lender maintains a collateral interest in the Bitcoin holdings, as well as the borrower's ownership interest in the fund. This allows for dual exposure. Investors retain their Bitcoin exposure while also benefiting from the real estate cash flow and appreciation. This model creates a win-win scenario. Bitcoin holders diversify their portfolios without liquidating their assets, and the fund gains access to a new pool of capital that can be deployed into high-quality real estate opportunities. So what does the road to institutional adoption look like? For tokenization to truly take off, institutional investors must lead the way. But as we've learned, trust is not given, it is earned. At SteelWave, we believe there are three pillars to building this trust. One, regulatory clarity. We must support and advocate for framework which provides the legal and operational certainties needed to participate. Two, robust custody solutions. Security is paramount. Without institutional grade custody, the risk of tokenized assets will outweigh the rewards for many investors. Three, transparency. Investors need full visibility in the operations, governance, and financial health of tokenized products. This is a level of transparency is non-negotiable if we're to build a lasting confidence in the ecosystem. We're committed to these principles, and we call on everyone in this room to do the same. Collaboration, not competition, will be the driving force behind the mainstream adoption of digital securities. We truly stand at the threshold of a new era in finance. The promise of tokenization is no longer a distant dream. It is a tangible reality, but one requires vision, collaboration, and action to fully materialize. Here's my challenge to you. One, innovate boldly. Whether you're a developer, an investor, or a policymaker, now is the time to push boundaries. The solutions we create today will shape the financial landscape for decades to come. Two, educate relentlessly. Many potential investors and stakeholders still see tokenization as an abstract concept. It's our responsibility to demystify this space and show the world how it can create real, tangible value. We need to make mainstream media our partner, not our adversary, and collaborate purposefully. Tokenization is not a zero-sum game. By working together, we can build an ecosystem that benefits from everyone, from institutional players to retail investors. At SteelWave, we're not waiting for the future to happen. We're building it. From reimagining the capital stack to unlocking dormant capital and setting new standards for trust and transparency, we're leading the charge to bring tokenization into the mainstream. My father, who founded SteelWave, reminds me that TV used to only have 3 stations. Today, the content is unlimited with cable networks and streaming. The traditional financial ecosystem resembles the 3-station TV environment in many ways. The digital securities world has the potential to move this financial ecosystem from the 3-station phase of the cable streaming phase. Those people who get it will benefit greatly. Those who cling to the norms of TradFi will be left adjusting the antenna on top of their 19-inch TV picture tube. I invite all of us to join this journey. Together, we can create a financial ecosystem that is more inclusive, efficient, and resilient. One that not only meets the needs of today, but also anticipates the opportunities of tomorrow. Thank you.